Friday, everyone. Your real worth isn't defined by your net worth. What makes you valuable is how you use what you have been given. All of us have gifts. Make sure you're making the most of yours. Have an amazing Friday.
It is now the bottom of the hour. I'm excited to welcome Nancy Matthews to our program today. Nancy is an author of a book. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it in the carousel for you guys. There it is, The One Philosophy. I want to talk to Nancy not only about the re-release of the book, but also what it's been like for her to share the message with all of you guys. Nancy, great to have you on with us.
Hello, hello, hello. So happy to be here.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Pursuing Profit with Principles. Great to see you again, and I'm delighted to welcome my guest this morning. We may have others joining us along the way, but good morning, Sherry Knight. How are you, Sherry?
I'm well. Good morning, and it is a beautiful day. Warm, sunny, all those wonderful things.
Awesome. It is. It appears it's, well, actually, it looks like there might be a possibility of some rain here today, which we are celebrating.
Yes, wonderful. We like it
we
too.
have been dry.
Well, we love rain too, but we like it from midnight until 6 a.m.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, so we are excited to be here this morning. Hang on just one second. I know we have at least one more person joining us, maybe some others. We are here today to talk to you about a special event that's happening tomorrow.
Yes.
Sherry and I belong to a mastermind group that I started a little over a year ago called the Business Superheroes. And we're a group of 8 different entrepreneurs, each of us with a different background, each of us with different experiences, different skill sets that have come together to support one another, to learn from each other, to see how we can collaborate with one another, what we can do together to improve our lives and our clients' lives. And so there's, as I said, there's 8 of us in that group. Well, a few months ago, we decided that we should come together and write a book. And that's what we've done. And we are excited to talk about that book today. It is debuting tomorrow on Amazon, and we're going to talk about that. So we determined that between the 8 of us, we have at least 300 years of experience. And so
that makes it sound really old.
It really does. But you have to recognize, let's see, how old were you, Sherry, when you did your first business?
10.
10. And Tim Hyde was under the age of 6, I know, when his first business was a circus, a neighborhood circus he put together. So we have a lot of experience. Some of us started very young. But our book is entitled Small Business Startup, The Collective Wisdom of 300 Years in Business. And so, Sherry, what's it been like being a part of that group, first of all? What have been some of the takeaways for you from this collaborative event that we've had, or collaborative relationship of over a year of working together here?
Well, and so many, you say a few, okay, I could go on forever, right? But just actually last week, I was in touch with one of our members because I had a question about where do I find people? Because part of my human resource element and helping businesses improve, part of that is recruitment, right? And
Right?
all of a sudden, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but in North America, it is wild trying to find people. So I
Yes.
reached out to not Brian, sorry,
Jason.
to Jason Tracy. I was going to say Brian Tracy. I reached out to
You
Jason.
have good connections.
Very much so. And Jason's background is all in sales. And so I reached out to him and said, is there anything I am missing here? What can I do differently? And of course, he was very, very helpful. The same with Pat Iyer. And Pat, of course, is the one who has what was the right word? Spearheaded our book from that
Yes.
perspective, because she has so many years experience in putting books together.
Right.
And yourself, reaching out to you because, I don't know how to do this techie thing, and your expertise in all that techie stuff. So, this group of individuals is there to help each other wade through all those things that we need to know today. And it's tough today for me. I don't know about other people, but it's a different world. I mean,
Yeah.
stand me in front of an audience of 800 people, no problem. Ask me to write something, no problem. Ask me to get on and do a lot of techie stuff. I'm going, oh my gosh, I don't know how to get there.
Meltdown.
Right. Meltdown is a good word. So it's that aspect of being able to call on people to help you through those things that you go, I'm just lost here.
Yeah. And there's so much knowledge and wisdom in this group.
Amazing.
Yeah. If you've ever been part of a mastermind, or you thought you wanted to be part of a mastermind, one of the things that's always important is to make sure that you're not the smartest person in the room. With all the wisdom and knowledge and experience that you have, and you're brilliant, make sure you're not the smartest person in the room, because you can learn from everyone else in that room.
And you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and if you are the smartest person in the room, you are the smartest person because you know enough to call on other people.
Yes, exactly. And be that good mentor to others and support to others and share that knowledge. I remember the first paid mastermind I was in. It was would have been in 2016, I guess, and it was Russell Brunson, one of his first masterminds, and it was a year-long mastermind, and there were some brilliant people in there. I mean, there were 21-year-olds making millions of dollars a year already, and you're just like, holy cow, sitting there, and you walk in thinking, I have a lot to offer, and then you listen to everybody around the room, and you just kind of shrink a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
And my business partner and I went back to the hotel after that first day, and we needed to prepare for a presentation that we had to do, and we were both just like, oh my gosh, we have to start all over again here. What we were going to do is not going to work. We need to come at this from a different direction completely. But it was just such a becoming aware of the knowledge and skills of others around you, and how you can complement one another and serve one another, and the counsel that we received from everybody around that table that day when we made our presentation. And this was a group of about, I guess there were about 20 of us maybe in that room. But it was just wonderful counsel that they gave us, and had us go back then and make some changes in our business based on the counsel that they gave us. And it was really, really powerful.
Such growth.
Such growth.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that doesn't come when you do it alone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've
There's
learned that.
power.
It took a lot of years to figure that one out.
So, yeah, we all think we can do it by ourselves. Oh, just leave me alone. Let me do it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
but there's so much value in doing it with others and learning from them. We all have different experiences and different knowledge, and each of us has something to contribute. And
Always.
that's, yeah, it's been so interesting to go through this year with this group of folks. And like I said, when I put this group together, what I was thinking was I wanted people that did something different in their businesses, but wanted to put together a group of people that could serve any business, that all of our skill sets together could really enhance that business if they were to hire us as a team to come in and use all of our skill sets, all of our services.
Very true. And you can see that in the book, right? Because everybody's come at this from a different perspective. Everybody has different skills, although sometimes our skills overlap in certain areas.
Yeah.
We all have strengths that are in different areas. And consequently, if you want to think about number one, starting up a business, or number two, growing your business, you will find tidbits in here that are amazing for you. Some of them easy to implement, some of them more difficult, takes a little bit of time, maybe some learning, etc. And then here's the other thing. Remember, we had one individual in one of our programs that we were doing, Regina, and his response was, well, I took the program because I wanted to know what I was doing right. And found that out, and also added some things to his business that he hadn't thought about before. And that's what our book is all about.
Yeah. So as we each wrote our chapters in the book, we were sharing some of our life experiences, but there were so many other things beyond our life experiences that we shared in there. In the foreword on the book, the preface, excuse me, Pat Iyer and I, or Pat wrote most of this, but she and I put this in there. The book's chapters are designed to give you a peek into the lives of our members through insights, stories, advice, failures, and successes. Read for inspiration, practical guidance, and to know you're not alone in your entrepreneurial path. And I think that is so important, to know that you're not alone. And also knowing that each of us in this group have experienced successes and failures, right?
Well, and I always put it feels good when we get the success, right? But I always put the failure in the perspective of lesson learned.
Yes. Exactly.
That's the growth. And I say to people, really, we don't learn a great deal when everything's going perfect, because we get on that little merry-go-round and we go round and round and round doing the same, because it works.
Right.
It's when things go south, we say, and when things go wrong, we go, oh, okay, I have to learn something different here because this isn't working. And that's when our brain gets in gear and we start looking for other ways of doing something. So lots of learning.
Lots of learning. Learning is good, folks. Learning is good. Learning creates growth. Absolutely. And without those failures, those growth opportunities, as Sherry said, you're just going around. You're not changing things. You're not moving forward.
And what we want to do with this book is help you not make the same mistakes we did.
Yeah, really. Learn from others' mistakes. That's a key point in success in life and or business. Learn from the mistakes of others so you don't have to repeat them. Be willing to learn, be coachable, be teachable, be eager to learn from others. I think that's so important.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree.
Yep. So you shared, as you said, an experience that you had with Jason this past week when you were, or week or two, when you were searching for some additional help. What are some other things that have resonated with you with this group and this book?
Well, one is our friend Barbara, and to watch the growth in Barbara is phenomenal, because as Barbara didn't have a business per se. She'd always been in MLMs. And so
Right.
she was familiar with that whole role. But now she wanted to take that role and move it into something else. So for me, at least, watching how Barbara has been able to maneuver from one area to a different area and then move back into that area because that's where a comfort zone is, but do it differently.
Differently.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's
been
not
an evolutionary process for
Oh
her.
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And it was so obvious with her. I think we all go through that revolutionary, I was going to say. That evolutionary
Sometimes
element.
it's revolutionary.
True. But to watch her go through that, it was really enlightening to see the excitement that
Yes.
one gets as one goes, oh, well, that I thought that was where I wanted to go, but not really. And so to try something different until you find your foundation, your footing, and then be able to take that and grow it and be so excited about it. And I find that absolutely phenomenal in terms of that. And we've got Tim on the other side of the world, right? Tim is in Australia. And what we can do, like, can you imagine 20 years ago being able to do this as easily as we can today?
Oh, I know. Yeah. 20 years ago, we would never have met.
That's right.
Sherry's in Canada. I'm in Texas. Tim is in Australia. We have Pearl in Rugby, England, and people scattered across the US in this group. So yeah, we live in such a marvelous age of communication. The ability to communicate with people has just taken leaps and bounds, and that has impacted business.
Well,
positively.
And of course, our book, right? Our book comes out tomorrow on Amazon.
Yes.
Like, you can have it the day after.
Yes.
It gets delivered to your house if you want it. You can download it if you want it.
Right.
In the past, you had a choice. You went to the bookstore and bought a book. If the bookstore didn't have it, the bookstore ordered it, and you would maybe wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever. And finally it would come, and it would be exciting because you finally got your hands on it. But now you can have it immediately, like bang.
Yes. And tomorrow it's only 99 cents for the Kindle version. Perfect. So we encourage everybody to go out there, and we'll share that link here before we hop off. We'll share the link, put it in your calendar, go out there tomorrow and buy it for 99 cents.
Right.
It's, as I say, the wisdom that is in here, the experience, the knowledge. It's amazing to have these 8 people come together and share all of that. And so again, it's called Small Business Management Advice, the collective wisdom of 300 years. And the author is Patricia W. Iyer, I-Y-E-R, with all of us as co-authors. And so the co-authors, let me just read you who those are. Of course, Sherry and myself, Jason Tracy of Roar Consulting, Barbara Ellison that Sherry was talking about just a moment ago. And Barbara has the Wellness Playroom and some other things that she does. Barbara Sayers of Sister to Sister Enterprises, Tim Hyde of Get Clients Now, I believe is the name of his business. Sherry's is Dimension 11. Pearl Cox of POW, Pearls of Wisdom, POW, Pearls of Wisdom. And so it has been just a phenomenal year of working with all of these folks. It went far beyond my wildest imaginations when I started pulling this together and started reaching out to people and saying, hey, I'm doing this thing. Do you want to join me?
and to actually take that group, we're like herding cats, right? Take the group and be able to create a book. And this was done within what? 6 months, 4 months?
Yeah, or less. Yeah.
Very, very quick for the collaboration and the creation of a book. I mean, my first book was
Right.
7 years took me to write it, but
Yeah.
when you're doing it with a group, you don't feel alone.
Right.
And you get to collaborate, you get to talk, you get to go, oh, I think I'll do this. And then with the editing and the proofing and those kinds of things, it comes back and you go, oh, well, this will make it better and that'll make it better.
Right.
And we did it so fast. It's
We
amazing.
did.
Yeah.
And we even reached out to a lot of other people with the draft of it and asked for their feedback on it. And that was really powerful too, in terms of fine tuning and really making it even better.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing like collaboration, and I don't care what it's about, whether you're in the kitchen cooking a recipe or you're trying to fix a car or you're trying to build a business. Collaboration and learning from others just helps your journey so much more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% agree with you on that, Sherry. Yeah, it's when you can collaborate with a group of like-minded individuals. And so when I say that, we all had different experiences coming in, right? We were all from different backgrounds, but we were all had positive attitudes. We were all wanting to make a difference in the world, all of us wanting to serve our clients at the highest level, being able to direct them to things that we might not offer. And so that's why I say, people of like mind, when you have that opportunity to collaborate with them, and not just a few minutes of collaboration, but a year of collaboration. When we came together originally, we were meeting once a week for probably about the first 6 months. And then we dropped it back to twice a month. We had the opportunity to each share in depth what we did so that everybody knew what everybody else was doing in the group, so we could call on one another, so we could introduce one another to our clients. And so a lot of those introductions have taken place in the group, a lot of working together. Sherry, you and I are working on a project that wouldn't be happening probably if we weren't in this group together and hadn't pursued this relationship to this level. And so we have an event coming up later this month as a result of that. I know that, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that collaboration, you're the techie wizard and I'm a writer. So the two go together really, really well.
Really well. It's worked very well. And I know that I think it was Pat and Jason did a project together. One of the things that came out of this was Jason and Barb Ellison have a podcast that they do together that came out of this collaboration. So there's all kinds of benefits that have come out of this collaboration, out of this group of folks who've come together and now are sharing their collective wisdom with everyone. Yeah. So, what would you say to someone, Sherry, if they had the opportunity to participate in something like this? Because as we move forward, there are going to be more opportunities for people to form new groups and to create their own books as part of that. And so there's a future here for people, not just in reading the book, but if they want to experience some of the things that we've experienced over this past year and enrich their lives by this kind of event. What would you say to someone who had that opportunity?
Well, number one, I not would I say, I say. I constantly say to people, get into groups, get into collaboration, and be able to then help yourself while you're helping others make the best of their particular business. So that really makes a big difference because, well, you said it earlier, Regina, stumbling through things on your own, and I've done it, right? I can do this. Yeah, well, it was a lot better and a lot easier when I decided that I didn't have all the skills and all the strength to do it on my own. And that's what people can get. That element to, number one, rub shoulders with people who have different experiences. Number two, learn from those experiences that they have and learn from the skills that they have. Yeah. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's easy to pick up. I was going to say pick up the phone. Depends on where you are. Get on Zoom, get on whatever. and get that knowledge, that skill that is important for you to be able to take things forward. Because if you don't, you're going to take a long time possibly to get where you want to get to. And taking courses, I mean, it's easy now. You can get online and you can take so many different programs, and that's wonderful. And if they want to take the program you and I have, Regina, that's wonderful too. But that's not why we're here today. We're here today to talk about what you can get from a collaboration. And this element about our book, you know, you're getting information from 8 different people, 8 different perspectives on what it is that you can take and apply to yourself as you're starting up your own business, or because you've already started your business and you're finding that, oh, there's some of that foundation that's a little wobbly. So this will help give you some ideas, some tasks to do, some things to implement to get your business moving forward from where it is presently. And, you know, this idea, collaboration is one of those things that doesn't cost money.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And you get to be able to go and rub shoulders and ask questions and get answers.
Yep.
And there's no cost.
Yeah.
Now, we can take it further. We can get into paid elements where there's collaboration, where we're learning for things. And that's fabulous because often it's a little deeper. You know, these people are meeting on a regular basis. They are sharing their knowledge. They are sharing their skill, and you're sharing yours. So yeah, both ends. Start with one if it's not comfortable, and then move to the other because you know that every penny you spent is going to be returned to you tenfold.
Absolutely. A couple of things you said there I'd like to pick up on. One was you talked about, you know, you can do it alone and stumble. And the thought that came to my mind was, you know, that if you're doing it alone, you're going to waste a lot of time. And that stumbling, all you're going to get is skint knees, right?
True. Been there, done that.
Haven't we all? And then the other thing is that it doesn't diminish you at all and your expertise to admit that you can't do it all, that you don't know everything. That's a sign of wisdom on your part to admit that.
True.
Right. And to recognize that other people have things that can complement what you do. And so you can pull from this and you can pull from this. And all of that grows your knowledge, your personal database, if you will, and allows you to serve more people. And isn't that what it's all about? Is that ability to go out and serve more people?
And to think, you know, put it in perspective there, Regina, if you don't serve people, you don't have a business.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And so we really want to be able to enhance our ability to serve others. And again, when I put this group together, that was really keen on my mind is what are services that every business needs? And how do I bring together people that, you know, that ideally the idea in my head at the time was that we could package up all of our services and supply them to a client, you know, or any part of our services. And what we've seen is that part piece. We've seen several partnerships come out of this, several opportunities for people to work together.
Right.
And then this final culmination of putting the book out and all of us being able to contribute to that. So again, that's small business management advice, the collective wisdom of 300 years. Put it on your calendar to go buy it tomorrow for 99 cents on Amazon. You can get the Kindle version tomorrow, 99 cents on Amazon. We're going to put the link here. It'll be scrolling across in a moment here, the link to the Amazon site where you can get that book. And use it to enhance your business. Right. Use it to help you create a stronger business model for yourself. Learn from those who've gone before. Remember what we said about not being the smartest person in the room. Learn from those who've gone before. So if we can get that link scrolling across, let's see. Let me give that to our producer again. Let's see. Give me 1 second, folks. There we go. You should be able to see that in just a moment. All right. So we appreciate you being here today. We hope you'll go out, check out the book. When you do purchase it, would you give us a review? We'd love it if you'd let us know what you think about it. And you can do that right there on Amazon where you purchase it. Give us a review. Here comes the link. Grab that link and you can, as I say, grab the book for 99 cents tomorrow. Give us a review as soon as possible. We'd love to see that book hit the top 10, be a bestseller on Amazon. That would be wonderful. You can help us create that and make that happen by grabbing the book for 99 cents tomorrow and leaving us a review on it. So with that, Sherry, thank you so much for coming on today and helping share about this book and the history behind it, what brought it about. And we will see you next time, folks, on Pursuing Profit with Principles. Bye for now and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
When you do nothing, nothing happens. Best time to take action is now.
This is the time to work on you and your business.
So I've created a group,
An online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you
to start helping yourself.
Helped me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
see you in Power Partners.
Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future.
Yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can't do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself.
Yes.
Multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with WendyY Bailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, WendyY Bailey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this bonus episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with WendyY Bailey. I am indeed WendyY Bailey, and I'm glad to see you guys here today. We're here every week in the 2 p.m. Eastern hour, typically on Thursdays, but today's Friday, and it's okay because some things took place yesterday, and I wasn't able to get here yesterday, but I'm here today, and I'm excited to be here. You can look for episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays at profitablecoachingconversations.com. If you miss anything, if you really want to check out some really great content, some actionable content that you can use today to grow your coaching business, go to profitablecoachingconversations.com. On Tuesdays, I interview and drop the episode for guests that have appeared on the show. And I've had some really amazing people that have joined me in conversation. And then on Thursdays, I do a bonus episode. So this is the live bonus episode that I host on Thursdays on today, which is Friday. So welcome. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to price your coaching programs for maximum profits. Okay. It's a topic that I really, really love talking about. It's actually a preview to my upcoming masterclass called Predictable Coaching Income. And we go into a little bit more detail than I do today, but today I'm going to give you some insight into what you've got to consider when you're pricing your programs, and your focus, your target, your goal is profitability. Okay. I'm WendyY Bailey. Just a quick introduction. I'm a 19-year veteran business and sales coach, and I show coaches how to master business. That means infrastructure and systems and processes. It also means marketing, visibility, and non-traditional launch strategies, and sales conversations, one-to-one, one-to-many. It also includes emotional promotional copy and email marketing. So there's a lot that I do and a lot that I talk about. If you're interested, I'd love for you to join the profitablecoachingsociety.com, profitablecoachingsociety.com. That is our private Facebook community. And in that community, they actually get to vote on the topics for the bonus episodes. So there's a poll out there right now, and the topic that seems to be racing toward the top of the list is the anatomy of an income producing activity. That should be fun to talk about. So look for that coming soon, probably next week, the way the voting is looking. So welcome. If you're here, be sure to grant StreamYard permission if you're on Facebook, so that I can see who you are, wave at me, say hi, tell me that you're here. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and type #replay. And if you have questions, post them, and I'll be more than happy to come back to the platforms and respond to your question. As a reminder, I'm live streaming on Facebook and my Facebook profile, my Facebook page, 2 of my Facebook groups, LinkedIn, and my WendyY Bailey YouTube channel. So you can catch me in all of those places on Thursdays in the 2 p.m. Eastern hour for the bonus episode. So let's kind of jump in. This whole idea of pricing your coaching programs with profitability as your focus is something that I've been teaching specifically in this way for about 5 years. And I love talking about this topic because this is the best way, the easiest way to create long-term success, sustainability, what I call staying power in your coaching business. So the first thing you've got to know and have is ideal client clarity and the power of one. If you've been on any of my training programs or any of my lives, you know this is something that I'm really, really serious about. It's because I see and hear a lot of coaches who come to me and they say, why am I not able to find clients? Why am I getting clients who are not ready, willing, and able to pay what I've said is my fee? Well, the reality is you don't have those clients because you need to get very, very clear about who your ideal client is. I call it ideal client clarity and the power of one, because we're talking one ideal client, one core problem, and one comprehensive solution. One ideal client, one core problem, and one comprehensive solution. When you think about your ideal client, there are 3 things you must know for pricing specifically. You need to know the gender of your ideal client. And yes, it is important that you declare a gender. People, you don't have to fear missing out when you say one gender or the other. What you want to do is be clear, and the clearer you are, the easier it is to language your message, to say what you need to say to appeal to that one gender. Doesn't mean you're going to leave people out. It means that you're clear on who you work with. If it's women, my ideal client is a woman. And because she's a woman, I talk to her like she's a woman. Okay. The second thing you need to know about your one ideal client demographics is her age range. And you need to create a span of no longer than 10 years. So if you're talking to a 35-year-old and you're talking to a 55-year-old, you're going to have different dialogue and different interaction with those two. So 10 years age span, and this is really, really, really important for looking at your ideal client, for looking at understanding how you set your pricing. And that is, you must know what kind of salary or what kind of income or what kind of revenue your ideal client has coming in. When you understand the revenue, when you understand the salary, the income, then you can actually begin the process of setting fees based on what you know your most ideal client can afford. So if you're popping on and you're joining me, I'm talking about what you need to consider when you are pricing your programs for profit. So I talked about one ideal client. Let me talk about one core problem. Your clients come to you and they may have a number of challenges that they're facing, but you've got to be clear about which one problem you want to solve first. And when you look at the one problem you want to solve first, you get all of the yumminess around that problem. You understand how it's showing up in her life. You understand, what's happening that's caused this problem. Then you can create a really great, rich, comprehensive solution. That is your program. That is your product. That is your package. That is your service. Okay. So one ideal client, one core problem, and one comprehensive solution. That's how you do that. So let me say something about the next thing I want you to look at. You've also got to have a well-defined program or programs, well-defined. Most people go into creating a program sometimes in a vacuum. Now, I'm a build the plane as I fly girl. If you've been around me, you know that's what I say all the time. What I'm saying when I say that to you is rather than build your comprehensive solution, your program in a vacuum, build it as a solution to the problem your ideal client has presented. And then when you look at the problem, when you look at the solution, when you look at your program, it means that you can make it really, really rich. And here's a way to make it really, really rich. It's well defined when you understand the program type. Do it yourself, done with you, or done for you are three types of programs. Do it yourself, done with you, and done for you are three types of programs. The one thing I want to say about this actual point is do it yourself does not necessarily mean free. Okay. Just because they are self-paced programs, just because the ideal client is walking through the content on their own does not make it any less valuable for them. You're still giving them great value, and you can charge for that, right? And you can charge more than, $47 for it. You can charge more than $147 for it. I have a program that is all DIY. It's a digital bundle download. They can listen, they can watch, they can walk through the content. And I have one program, again, I want to say it's like $9.97 or something like that. And that's $997. So just because it's DIY does not mean free. Okay. The other thing I want to say is when you start getting into access to you, in the done with you programs, like your one-on-one coaching, your group coaching programs, your masterminds, your signature courses, when you start getting into the done with you, the client has access to you. And because the client has access to you, there is a higher price point because they're paying for that access to your expertise, to your intellectual property, to what you know, what you say, to learning and growing with you as a subject matter expert. Done for you requires even more, right? When there's done for you, that means that they are doing the work, you're doing the work for them, right? And when you're doing the work for your clients, you're pouring your intellectual property into it, you're pouring your time into it, you're pouring resources. If you have a team that's doing the work for them, all of that really, really does make a difference when you are setting your fees. So DIY, done with you, done for you. You want to make sure you know what type of program it is. The richest programs, the richest solutions that you create are a hybrid of all three of these. There's a little bit of DIY, there's a little bit of DWY, there's a little bit of DFY. So think about that as you're creating your comprehensive solution or your program for your most ideal client. Okay, the next thing you want to know around this in particular is you've got to also know the type of income. Is it active? Does it require you to be part of that whole equation? Or is it passive, meaning that you sell it and it's something that people buy while you're asleep? You make money while you're asleep. You need to know that. You also need to know what your model is for creating maximum value. That means you're looking at all the ways that you're bringing value into clarification about your program. Okay, when you understand that your price is really based on value, you get to design a model for value. And in the upcoming masterclass, I give you a model for value. Okay, I give you a model for value. Then the third thing I want to tell you about is your program should help you focus on income producing activities, or IPAs. Okay, income producing activities are daily, weekly, and monthly activities that move your business forward. Daily, weekly, and monthly activities that move your business forward. When you have clarity about what's an income producing activity and what's not, then you're spending time on the right activities, and it's not just busy work. Okay, you've got to focus on income producing activities if you're serious about gaining some traction in terms of growth and profitability and your ability to scale. Okay, then the next thing I want to tell you, I've got one more point after this, is you've got to understand value. You got to have real clarity about value. And there are three types of value. These are WendyY definitions of value: financial value, business value, and lifetime value. Financial value, business value, and lifetime value. When you think of financial value, think of that as tied to numbers, right? It's increases, it's decreases, it's losses, it's gains, it's, reduction of something. It's also a return on investment. That's tied to numbers, right? So when you're talking about your program offering financial value, you get to talk about it in terms of numbers. You get to say there's a return on investment for this. I had someone who went through the last masterclass, and she said, working with me, going through the masterclass, changing her pricing and setting fees for her packages, netted her 4 times her investment in the program, in the masterclass. That's a financial value that she was able to put numbers to, right? She was able to put numbers to that. And I love that she shared that it netted her that kind of income, that kind of return. Business value is about efficiency and effectiveness. It's about, where you're getting better, how you're growing better. It can feel subjective, but your client can actually say, I'm 70% more productive than I was. I did have a client that said that to me. So it's numbers when you think of the 70%, but it's really about efficiency and effectiveness. I'm getting a lot more done. My business is running more smoothly. I've streamlined what I do, and there's a clarity to my message in the marketplace. All of that is a business value. Those are words and phrases that represent business value. Then the last type of value that I like to talk about is understanding lifetime value. And that's a little bit harder to put your finger on, but the more you serve clients, the more you will hear your catchphrases, your isms coming back to you. One of the catchphrases that I hear from a lot of people that came from me is, I charge for that. I charge for that, for the most powerful selling words you can ever know. And it's not about the words, it's about the spirit of those words. The spirit of those words say, hey, I know what I'm offering in the marketplace has value. And based on that value, I want to be compensated for the value that I'm able to provide, right? So whatever your catchphrases are, whatever your isms are, over time, your clients will recognize you as the source, the origin of whatever that catchphrase is. And based on that, the origin of those catchphrases, they'll equate lifetime value because you're the one who gave it to them, right? So you got to know the type of value. When you know the type of value, then you can articulate that value in the marketplace more reasonably. And I gave you plenty of examples before. The next thing you want to know is the dollar value of your program. You got to know what goes into it, what kind of resources, what kind of production costs. And the big one that I see most people miss is understanding what they bring to the program in terms of value. When you understand what you're bringing in terms of your experience, your expertise, everything that has brought you here today, it totally makes a difference. Totally makes a difference. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to say about value is understanding the value of your intellectual property. I touched on it just a second ago, but you've got to be able to put a number to that. There's got to be a minimum amount you charge for your intellectual property in any program. Now, let me say this. Once you identify the type of value, the dollar value, and the value of your intellectual property, as long as you don't change any elements of the program, the value is fixed. The value is fixed. Value doesn't change. What changes is the price. And price change in conjunction with your courage. Price is directly tied to your courage and your confidence in yourself and what you believe you're bringing in the way of value. Okay, so identify that number, and then you can actually set a fee. Once you set a fee, you can create a predictable coaching income plan. That means that you know when you're going to launch certain programs, you know how many you want to sell. And based on that, you can actually tie it to your calendar and know that you're going to have X number of dollars that will come in from a program that you're launching. I also, in the masterclass, give you benchmarks, because I think that when you have benchmarks or 3 different kinds of goals, then you can adjust your visibility and marketing strategy to adapt to your goals, to be sure that you're more on track to achieve your goals more specifically. So, these 6 points that I've been giving you are all about the masterclass that I have coming up. If you're watching this, I want you to know that the next one is coming up next week. There is another one coming up after that. But the way you find out about it is to book a 15-minute session with me. It's the one time you don't have to pay for coaching with me. We're going to spend 15 minutes. I'm going to get to know you. We're going to talk about the masterclass. If it is a good fit for you, that's what we'll do. But you can book your 15 minutes with me at growwithwendy.com. That's growwithwendy.com. As a reminder, if you're catching the replay, go ahead and type #replay to let me know you were here. If you somehow have missed any episode, you can go to profitablecoachingconversations.com and you can see all of the episodes posted right there on the website, profitablecoachingconversations.com. As a reminder, if you haven't already, be sure to join the Profitable Coaching Society at profitablecoachingsociety.com. That's a private Facebook community filled with coaches, speakers, trainers, consultants who have businesses just like yours, and they're learning, they're growing, they have access to content and resources right there in the community. So profitablecoachingsociety.com is where you can go for that. Just as a recap, let me tell you that the first thing you need to know about pricing your programs for maximum profit is you got to have ideal client clarity and the power of one. That means one ideal client, one core problem, and one comprehensive solution. The next thing you've got to have is you've got to have well-defined programs or programs. That means you've got to know what type of program it is. Is it a do-it-yourself, a done with you, or done for you? And the richest, highest value programs are a hybrid of all three of those program types. And remember that DIY does not necessarily mean free, okay? Still has value. You still need to know that. You also need to know the type of income, because when you understand the type of income your program offers, the type of income your program offers, you know whether you need to be involved in selling it and delivering it, or if it's active, or if it's something that people can purchase, download while you sleep. That makes it passive. That gives you a sense of what kind of effort you're going to put into delivering the program. The next thing you need to know is you need to understand your model for maximum value. I give you a formula in the master class, and you get to sort of really see how value shows up in your program. And when you understand how value shows up in your program, it can go a long way. I mean, a long, long way to helping you price it at an adequate level. Then the third thing I'll say is you got to be able to focus on income producing activities. These are daily, weekly, and monthly activities that move your business forward. When you focus on the wrong kinds of activities, you end up not gaining traction on growth, on sales, on income, on profits. So you've got to learn how to focus on the right activities. Those are income producing activities. The next thing I talked about was you got to have clarity about value. Clarity about value means you understand the value type. Is it financial, related to numbers? Is it business, related to efficiency? Or is it lifetime value, connected to your isms and your catchphrases? You also want to know the dollar value. You can consider everything that goes into it, and once you get the tally of that, you understand what that total is, you can actually see what it really is taking for you to produce that program. Then you also need to recognize the value of your intellectual property. You bring a wealth of experience. And what I see people who come to me in this masterclass think is you don't always recognize the value of your intellectual property. If you thought of it, it's yours. If it's original, it came from you. That's your intellectual property. That has value. So everything you've ever experienced goes into how you think about your intellectual property. I also believe that there's a minimum you must charge in terms of value. You must assign in terms of value for anything and everything you touch based on your intellectual property and what you're bringing to the program. Then finally, once you understand all of these pieces, you can put together a predictable coaching income plan that is tied to your calendar, so you can now know what kind of money you're going to make in January, know what kind of money you're going to make in February, March, on a monthly basis, ongoing basis, because of the goals that you set in your plan and because of how well defined your programs are. You know exactly what to do to price your programs for maximum profit. I've been talking about this as a preview to Predictable Coaching Income. It's a masterclass that I'm teaching. It's coming up. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to growwithwendy.com, book a 15-minute session with me. I would like to talk to people because I want to make sure it's the right kind of program for you. It's only for 15 coaches, and right now there are only 8 spots left in the next one that's coming up. So if you want to get ahead, if you want to be able to price your programs, packages, services, and products well into the future, from now on, you want to be part of that. And the way to be part of that is to sign up for that 15-minute session with me at growwithwendy.com. Thanks so much for being here. I will look forward to seeing you in another bonus episode in the future. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Today, Today, over 1 billion children in the world live in poverty. At Help Heal Humanity, our goal is to connect children in need with people like you who want to make a difference. Our student sponsorship program helps provide children with the necessities for a healthy and successful start to life. When you sponsor a student, you're not only giving them the gift of education, you're giving them the best chance for a brighter future. 100% of your donation supports the tuition fees, uniforms, textbook, and school supplies needed to thrive in a safe and healthy learning environment. Sponsor a student now and be the catalyst for their brighter future.